Hey everyone, welcome to the AMI Atom webinar. Thank you for your patience. We were just getting everybody in. There's been an incredible turnout for this, and I'm really happy about that. So thank you all for joining us live. Thank you who are going to watch this in the future from the past. Look, this is a momentous and super exciting day for AMI. We for lots of reasons, and I just want to explain to you to start this why I am so jazzed up about what we're going to tell you today. First of all, the fact that we're even doing this event is pretty momentous. Under the leadership of Kapil Mistry, who many of you know, our new VP of Product and Marketing, and the entire marketing team and tech support team, Joe Fisher leading this. We're really rethinking marketing at AMI and what we can do to help you, the operator, engage more locations, engage more patrons, and help you learn more about our products. And this is just one example. I'm remote today, but the team is going to come to you from our new studio in Grand Rapids. And that's something that we expect to get a lot more use of in the future. So it's a great indication of where we're going, from the marketing and operator support perspective. Secondly, of course, the headliner today is the Atom Jukebox. Those of you who were waiting for the call to start have already seen a bunch of that. You're going to hear about it. I won't steal the thunder from the team, but I do want to credit Steve Jarima, head of operations and product, Jeff Kalis, who you're going to hear from today, and almost everybody else at AMI has had a hand one way or another in this new product, the Atom. It is truly a game changer. And, I've been around long enough to see a few jukeboxes come and go. I don't say that lightly. We really have created and are shipping already something that is going to allow you to do things that maybe you haven't even imagined. So as you get to know this product, I think you're going to find more and more and more love for it. Again, I'll let it speak for itself as the day goes on. Thirdly, and maybe most important, I want you to understand what's behind the Atom, what's inside the Atom. We're a company who I think all of you have known for a long time. I'd like to say we are the most operator friendly. We certainly spend a lot of our time and effort in our tech support team, our services sales team, doing everything we can for operators. I think you've also known us as the real jukebox company, right? The one that's been around for 100 years, who understands the customers, understands the industry. Increasingly, though, we're getting to be known as the innovation leader. And you see that in things like music video, you see that in our Copilot app, you see that with our digital signage, ad manager products. All of those things are just examples, and there's many more of where we're trying to break new ground and innovate on behalf of the industry and all of you. What's inside this Atom? We've named it the KLS. Those are the letters that start the actual product or part number. Internally, we call it the KLS. Right, and that's in honor of the developer. Many of you know our esteemed and fantastic lead engineer, Jeff Kalis. He's had his fingerprints on probably every AMI product since before I was involved in the company. And this is a crowning achievement from Jeff. And it is not only the engine for the Atom, but it is really the future, next decade plus, of products for AMI. So, those of you with us today, this is really something I think you'll look back on and say you were there when we announced and showed the thing that is going to drive an incredible new set of innovation and new products for the company. So that's what's got me so excited. Yes, the Atom is an incredibly fantastic box, but the technology and what's behind it with the KLS is truly groundbreaking for us. So super excited. Thank you for being here. I'm told we are going to take questions at the end, so I'm going to stick around and get your questions into the team. And with that, I want to hand you over to our fantastic Vice President of Sales, Chris Owens, and let him take you through the product. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mike. I'm Chris Owens, Vice President of Sales at AMI, and I'll be joined by Jeff Kalis, Director of Hardware Engineering, to do a product walkthrough shortly. We want to thank our partners for giving us their time to experience the launch of this exciting new product from AMI, the Atom Jukebox. We will be giving away a new Atom for one lucky participant at the end of this presentation. And additionally, we will be sending a follow-up email with a webinar special for each company represented. Atom is an addition to the AMI Jukebox lineup. We now offer 3 wall boxes: the Mini 3, the Curve, the Atom, and the only available new floor box on the market, the Infinity. This will give operators flexibility on installations and applications for any type of location or venue. Like each of our products, the Atom is full of features. It incorporates Ad Manager. Customers can create ads for their locations. Copilot, phone and tablet remote control to control your jukebox or manage your route from anywhere. Audio and video content provided to your locations and venues, and customized playlists and content for each location. The Atom is lightweight and portable. At only 33 pounds, this unit is perfect for one-person installs and can be carried in every route truck. It's easily shippable to distributors, and distributors can ship single units or pallets to customers at lower freight costs. It also has a small footprint. The size of this jukebox opens up unlimited placements within a location or for new locations. Affordability. At an MSRP of $27.50, this is the best value proposition box on the market today. If you take advantage of some of the current Atom promotions we have, that price gets much more competitive. The Atom is the perfect jukebox solution and value proposition for your route and for your locations. We know there's a lot of legacy product in the field. There are thousands of locations with hardware that is a decade old or older. In those locations that need a facelift, or for your route that needs to do a lot of upgrading, you can do upgradings en masse with the Atom box. There's a more efficient way to operate this, both regularly and with Copilot. And with the size and weight of this unit, you can get better real estate or placements within your existing locations for increased awareness and earnings. Also, for new locations, the affordability of the Atom may make new venues more attainable. There are more opportunities to grow your revenue, both in same-store sales and also growing your route. You also have an economic entry into locations running background music content or streaming services where equipment may not be the primary source of revenue. We also know there's an alternative path to upgrade jukeboxes and current future-proof your hardware and software when you're migrating from Win 10, from XP to Win 10, or from other jukeboxes that may require a hardware upgrade. The serviceability on the Atom, second to none. We have quick component replacement in the field for decreased downtime, fewer components for easier troubleshooting, and since it's lightweight and portable, swapping a jukebox is now an alternative to servicing the jukebox on location. So to reiterate, the Atom has a perfect combination of price, size, and weight, compact and lightweight, easy to get to location, easy to transfer to location, easy for one-person installs. It's a full functioning jukebox with all the features that AMI has to offer, and it's a perfect addition to the AMI lineup. We introduced this jukebox about 2 weeks ago at the IAPA show in Orlando. We had a lot of operators come by, look at the jukebox, get an initial look at it. Very cool box. Came back, at least most of the operators came back, a second or third time to tell us that they have applications for this box and they've got a spot for this bar or this piece on their route. We're very excited about this piece. We hope you take advantage of it. We think it's the perfect box at the perfect time. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Jeff Kalis, and he's going to walk you through the product.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Jeff Kalis, and I'm the Director of Hardware Engineering here at AMI Entertainment. I'm going to go through the jukebox and show you some of the features. The first thing you'll notice about the jukebox is it's plastic. It's an injection molded in high impact polycarbonate. It's about 5 millimeters thick, which is about 3/16 of an inch. So it's pretty stable all by itself. But we've incorporated some strengthening ribs to give the cabinet much more strength. We've also made sure that we used reinforced screw bosses to make sure that none of the components would break loose during shipment. It's good and sturdy. Inside the door, we have a couple of pretty large sheet metal panels, brackets, that are used to hold the monitor and the currency panel in place. These also strengthen the door and give it rigidity so you don't have to worry about it. It's pretty strong. The outside of the cabinet is painted with a very light texture black paint, easy to maintain, keeps it nice and clean, nice clean look. A little more detail on the monitor. This is an 18.5-inch screen. It's the same size as on the Mini and on the Curve, but it's a different physical fit. So the monitors are not interchangeable. This one is also an HDMI connected monitor that runs on 12 volts, and it's touch enabled. The LCD panel inside the monitor is common to the Mini 3 and the Curve. The currency panel on the bottom is interchangeable. We have a single bill acceptor unit with using the CPI Talos bill acceptor for the US market. Canadian market and other places where they have coins, we have a coin box. We'll change the bill acceptor to a coin mech. And we have another spot over here if you're going to run bill acceptor and coin mech. The currency panel is easily removed with just 6 screws on the back. It comes out the front and a different panel comes in. Inside the cabinet here, we've got a junction box. This is where you plug in your cord into your IEC connector. We've got an on and off switch. Inside here is also a surge protector and a line filter and the fuse. There's a cooling fan here, not very large, but enough to move air through the machine. There's a filter down here. It's just a foam air filter. You can take this out and clean it every now and then as it gets dirty whenever you need to. We provide the Atom with a 250 watt power amplifier, which gives you 125 watts per channel. Here goes a camera. Okay, sorry about that, a little technical difficulty here. You've not done many webinars before, so bear with us. Not sure where we left off, but I'll start over with the air filter. We've got a fan here, and we've got an air filter on the bottom. It's just a foam air filter, and you can pull that out and clean it as you need to. The Atom comes equipped with a 250 watt amplifier, gives you 125 watts of music power per channel. We've got a 19 volt, 90 watt power supply over here on the side. There's a little blue LED that'll indicate power is on. A door open sensor switch here for security, so you know if your door's been opened when you're not expecting. And the heart and soul of the Atom Jukebox is the KLS Jukebox controller. It's mounted here in the middle. We have a short video for you to play that gives you an introduction to the KLS Jukebox controller. Now, while I'm doing my presentation and during these videos, you have an opportunity in the chat box on the Zoom interface to ask questions. So if you have any questions that you think you need to have answered, whether it's from Chris or from me, technical or sales oriented, go ahead and type those questions in and we'll take a look at those questions at the end and answer the ones that we can. So here's the video on the KLS Jukebox controller. The new KLS Jukebox controller that was introduced with the Atom Jukebox has a connector on the side for With the introduction of the Atom Jukebox, we're also introducing the new KLS Jukebox controller. This is a slick little package made using an extruded aluminum chassis. Inside is an interface board and a computer. And in addition, on the front, we've got our 4 standard push buttons for power, calibrate, cancel, and service. We've also applied a label on the front to help identify the connectors on the side, which include power for the computer, power for the interface, a remote input for IR remote or wired remote, power connector for the monitor, 2 bill acceptor connectors, 1 for CoinMech for our friends in Canada and Mexico and elsewhere, cabinet cooling fan, money meter optional, a couple of amplifier connectors. We've got RCA jacks for line out and stereo A in. We also incorporated our standard 5-pin paging microphone connector, some status LEDs. On the computer itself, we've got the HDMI port that connects to the monitor on the jukebox. We've got the jack for internet, and we've got 2 USB ports. One will be for the touch controller on the monitor. We also have a display port output for a second monitor for watching music videos. In the Atom Jukebox, we include a display port to HDMI converter so you can run HDMI displays on all of your TVs in the location. This is the new KLS Jukebox controller, and it's in a nice, convenient little package, and it's introduced along with the Atom Jukebox. So technology has come a long way in the past few years. I'm sure everybody remembers this. It's a nice big clunky hard drive, but it was technology about 20 years ago. Right now we're looking at these little M-SATA drives, and this is what is inside the KLS computer. And we've got another video here that'll tell you how to change the M-SATA drive in the KLS controller. The KLS Jukebox controller, introduced with the Atom Jukebox, no longer uses the standard 2.5-inch SSD that we've used for the past couple of years. Instead, it uses a new M-SATA drive. This is much smaller, and it has exposed connectors and exposed components. It's best not to touch those, just handle it by the corners and by the edges. What I'm going to do now is show you how to change the M-SATA drive in the KLS Jukebox controller. The first step is to loosen the thumb screw on the side until the computer slides out of the chassis. You can slide this out and expose 2 connectors on the back, a USB connector and the audio connector. Unplug those. Flip the computer over and remove 2 screws so you can take the cover off of the back of the computer. Once those screws are removed, the cover will slide off. Set that aside and expose the M-SATA drive. There's 1 screw that holds the M-SATA drive. It's kind of small and you don't want to lose it. So the thing to do with this is loosen the screw and keep it with the M-SATA drive. Don't take it out. And the M-SATA drive will lift up due to a spring force in this connector, and just grab this corner and pull the M-SATA drive out, leaving the screw where it is. Transfer the screw into the new M-SATA drive, and to install it at an angle, insert it, and then you can fasten it down by using the screw. Then you want to replace the cover. The cover has 2 tabs on the top and 1 on the bottom. It's best to get the one on the bottom in position first and then line up the 2 on the top. Reinstall the 2 screws on the bottom. Then you're going to want to plug the USB connector into the outside of the 2 USB connectors on the computer. Plug the audio jack into the audio port and slide the computer back into the chassis and tighten the thumb screw up a little bit so the computer doesn't come out. And that's how to change the M-SATA drive on the KLS Jukebox controller. So in the Atom Jukebox, we also offer several different kits. And one of the kits we offer is a second amplifier kit. The second amplifier is identical to the first amplifier, comes with a little cable, the amplifier itself, 2 screws, which I've already pre-installed up here. To install this kit, you simply plug in this harness on the side. There's a power connector on this side. Once that's plugged in, you can just position the amplifier here and tighten it with the screws. Plug this into the KLS controller, and now you've got 500 watts, 125 watts per channel. In addition to the second amp kit, we also offer a wired remote kit. We're going to show another short video here that will demonstrate how to connect the IR remote receiver or a wired remote. The new KLS Jukebox controller that was introduced with the Atom Jukebox has a connector on the side for an infrared or wired remote input. The infrared sensor that we provide with the Atom is different than anything we've used in the past. It looks similar to this. The sensor will either be round or this shape, or it could be rectangular. Either way, it's going to have a 3.5 millimeter phone jack on the end, and that phone jack simply plugs into the IR input on the front or the side of the KLS controller. You can then mount this sensor anywhere that you desire. If your location requires a wired remote instead of wireless, we provide an optional wired remote. It has the same push buttons as the transmitter for the wireless IR remote. You can mount this on the wall, and it has a 3.5 millimeter connector on the top where you just connect an audio cable from there and plug it into the same connector as the IR receiver, and now you can mount this any place you like. If your location requires both wired and wireless, then you can pick up one of these little splitters and connect each of the remotes into the splitter, and then connect the splitter into the KLS, and now you have both wired and wireless remotes that you can mount wherever it's convenient. Okay, that is the presentation of the Atom Jukebox. We do have a couple of questions. One is, the question is there room for a second bill acceptor and a credit card reader? Well, we do have room for a second bill acceptor. It's an upgrade kit that you can buy. There are actually 2 kits. One is just the currency panel with the additional opening. You provide your own bill acceptor, or you can order a kit that includes the second bill acceptor. We do not provide a credit card reader on the Atom Jukebox. We did that for several reasons. One is the mag stripe is going to go away. We didn't want to introduce another jukebox with a mag stripe reader that's going to have to be replaced shortly. And additionally, your customers can use the AMI Music app and the bills to get credit. So we didn't feel that a credit card reader was needed on this one. Another question, is there a mounting bracket available? Actually, there is. This jukebox mounts flat against the wall, and we've provided space on the top and the bottom for cabling to go through. And if you find that that's not enough room and you'd like the jukebox mounted off the wall, we do have a mounting bracket kit available. It's a couple of pieces of metal with some tabs on it. You mount those to the wall and the jukebox will hang right on that. It offsets the jukebox by about 3/4 of an inch off the wall. If you need that, it's available. Another question, are the additional amps higher power out? No, actually, the power amplifiers are 250 watts each, so you get a combined total of 500 watts. And Another question, what is the size of the hard drive? Well, the mSATA drive is a 512 gigabyte drive, the same size as the SSD drives that we use in the Curve and the Mini 3. And Chris, I think there's a question for you. I'll turn it over to you.
Are there LED lights? To keep this jukebox affordable and keep it priced competitively and appropriately for the jukebox, we did not include lights on this box. We do have lights and LEDs on both the Mini 3 and the Curve, and if that may fit into your location best, then then maybe you want to go that direction. This is in addition to the lineup, so it gives you a lot of flexibility. We also feel that this could go in any type of location. Doesn't matter if it's a B, C, or D location. We also think in an A location where you have a high percentage of mobile play, doesn't matter which terminal you have in there, especially if you're connected to an additional monitor so you can do the video and ad manager. What are the shipping dimensions and the weight of the boxed Atom? 27 inches by 11 inches by 22, and it weighs 40 pounds. A couple other questions that I believe were on there were regarding this. When you if you have to swap out the KLS at location, all you have to do is swap out the KLS and then call the tech line, and they can make sure they get the MAC address switched over and everything will be good to go. You're out the door. Any other questions, Matt, you might want to read off? Yeah. So if any questions that were asked that we didn't answer specifically today, we will either email you, your regional sales manager, distributor will get with you to answer those questions. Okay. Both remote controls are slightly different. There's a few less functions on this remote than there are in the same remote.
Nope, sorry, Chris.
Okay, come on up.
Yep, the remote control is the same transmitter that we've used in the past. That doesn't change. And the wired remote, the new wired remote that we have, has the same buttons on it that the IR remote does. So,
how long is the cable for the wired remote?
The wired remote cable in the kit is 6 feet. You can extend that by just going out and getting any standard cable extension that you'd like.
What's the max number of speakers you can hook up to this speaker?
So the maximum speaker number isn't really important. It's the load that's important. So it's good for a 4-ohm load, which means you could put 2 4-ohm speakers. You could put 4 8-ohm speakers. You could actually put 16 speakers if you connect them in parallel series, just to make sure that you present a 4-ohm load to the amplifier. Putting in a second amplifier allows you to put even more speakers on. So it's very flexible, just like all of our other jukeboxes. We got any other questions?
Yes, there's still coming in. Is it possible to get more than 500 watts out of this machine?
So the question is it possible to get more than 500 watts out of this machine? At this time, no. We have 2 250 watt amplifiers. If you need a higher power amplifier, you're going to have to look at Mini 3 or Curve or Infinity.
Are they ready to ship?
Actually, we're shipping today. They're in stock and they're available. Contact your distributor. One other thing I should mention, this does have line out. So if you do need to connect this to a house system for audio, that's very possible. You still be able to control the volume and all that kind of stuff like normal, but you can connect it to a house system.
Are there any future plans for NFC payment?
The question is, are there any future plans for an NFC payment system? Actually, that's one of the reasons we did not include a swipe reader on here. We're looking at tap readers or card chip readers. We're waiting to see how the market settles out as far as their availability and their cost. And when something comes along that will work for us and is affordable, we'll be sure to provide a kit to be able to upgrade this machine or any of others to that new technology.
What is the largest size bill stacker that you could fit in?
So the question is, how big is the bill stacker? This is a 300 note stacker.
There are a lot of questions about the monitor. Is it the same monitor as the 12 and the mini?
So the question is, the monitor, is it the same as the Curve and the Mini? It's physically not the same. You can't take this monitor out and put it in a Curve or put it in a Mini. They're just not the same shape. But the screen itself, the TFT screen inside, that is the same size, and that is interchangeable between the different monitors. This one is an HDMI monitor, where the user interface on the Curve and the Mini 3 are VGA monitors.
What type of coin method stuff is
So the question is, in Canada, what's available for CoinMech and Bill Acceptor? We provide an opening in this area for an NRI CoinMech, and the Bill Acceptor will be a standard opening, and that's basically up to the Canadian operators. We generally don't supply the Bill Acceptor with them. Historically, we've provided harnessing for the MEI or CPI version of bill acceptors, but it will take anything as long as it fits in the cabinet. Like I said, it's a 300 bill stacker, so it's not very deep. You'll just have to see what fits. I haven't been able to sample all of them.
Okay, that's about it.
That's it.
We can always.
Okay. All right, Chris, you want to wrap it up?
So in closing, we're confident the AMI Atom is the perfect solution for your business. It's versatile, it's affordable, it's a great solution for the industries you serve. We want to thank you for your support and your trust in AMI. We'll continue to be the best partners for your business and pledge to deliver cutting-edge hardware and software and an exciting new technology. The winner of the Atom Jukebox is Neil Gilbertson at Northern Lakes Amusements. So we thank you for your participation. Let us know how you think we did. If we can help you with anything, we look forward to talking with you all soon. Thank you.